Imagine this. You own a piece of land you've taken care of for decades. You clear the alien plants, keep it neat, protect it. Then one day, a government report says your land is now too sensitive to develop, while your neighbor, who trashed theirs, gets the green light to build and profit. Sounds fair? Welcome to the Mossel Bay Biodiversity Offset Plan. Yes, this is part 3 of the Mossel Bay story. There's been some developments. Let's get into it. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Newsflash. I'm your host, Emilio. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're breaking down what's really going on in Aalwyndal in plain English, and why this whole thing feels less like conservation and more like control. You still legally own your plot in Aalwyndal. No one's taking your title deed, but officials and consultants have now mapped your land into zones. Core conservation, very sensitive, almost no development allowed. Developmental allowed with conditions. You can build, but you'll pay levies and join a Master Homeowners Association. And then there's low sensitivity. You can build normally. So even though you still own it, the rights attached to your ownership have changed. And that's the real issue. If you ever want to build or sell to a developer, you'll have to do the following. Join the Master Homeowners Association, or MHOA, which enforces conservation rules. And then you'll have to pay yearly conservation levies of about 14,000 to 16,500 Rand per hectare forever. Those payments go to the HOA, which manages the land you supposedly own. So it's not that the government's buying your property, it's that your control over it just got smaller. If you comply, you pay. If you don't, you're stuck with land that's hard to sell or develop. Here's the kicker. People who cared for their land are now told it's too sensitive to touch. And those who cleared theirs years ago are labeled low sensitivity, meaning they can build more, make more, and profit.
I'm very confused.
Here is what one resident asked.
I've got a statement. You are talking about fairness. I want to know, we have been in Aalwyndal for 30 years. We've looked after our property because we love nature, we love animals and plants. So I've really looked after against this wall, and because he wanted to clear a few times, I said, no, we need to look. But now we're old. We want to sell. No one's going to buy my land because you have taken 90% of my land. The person next to me, his land is now sterile because he has put in ostriches. So I am being targeted and not him. Is that fair? I want to ask you.
Okay, I think that is a very fair question. So Jackie, you want to maybe respond to that one?
And the consultant's reply? Now, there was a lot said in between the question and the answer, but here's essentially the answer to the question.
Yes, well, that is also an issue which I highlighted before, and that is, I'm pleased that you looked after it, but unfortunately from a development perspective, it doesn't really serve you in the long run.
So, the people who preserved nature are punished, and those who didn't, they win. That's not conservation, that's bureaucracy playing God. The municipality keeps saying, it's just a draft, there's nothing final, we're consulting. But let's be real. They've already mapped the land, priced the levies, and structured the HOA. It's a done deal dressed up as a draft. Residents said exactly that at the public meeting.
Okay, so according to National Biodiversity Offset Guidelines in the Environmental Management Act, staan nou, en ek gaan nou nie die hele paragraaf lees nie, maar ek gaan net aanhaal van toepassing. The EIP or specialist would also need to engage with landowners, holders of rights in land and other stakeholders in the landscape during this phase. Nie met ons eienaar is daar engage nie, genoegsaam in elk geval, en ons stakeholders, en in julle eerste en deur die dokument praat julle van stakeholders en engagement en om hulle te betrek en insaag te kry. Ons vra van verlede jare van Jackie, I had this conversation with you, where you told me specifically we must get the municipality to respond and to give us information or get a meeting so we can be informed. And this was 25th of August 2025 was the first time We actually got something out of the municipality more than a year later. So, according to this act, this whole study cannot be valid because there was no communication with the stakeholders of our property.
Thank you.
And even the consultant admitted the following.
Thank you. Yes, I think that, there could have probably been more done to involve the stakeholders from an earlier perspective.
Done.
Yeah.
Can I just add?
Yeah.
I spoke to Yaku last year and I offered Mossel Ski as a venue to please bring and he's shaking his head, is that true? Yeah. To come and talk to us as owners before this biodiversity plan is released, so we can hear straight from your perspective what you are busy with, because we heard rumors of things that was frightening us, and we are all, our nerves are red.
I can really understand that. Can I just quickly say one thing, Yaku, then you can take over, yeah. I think it would have been preferable to have done this, but I just want to say, to have done this earlier, but I just want to re-emphasize, these reports have not been finalized.
So how can they talk about transparency when the consultation happened after the plan was drawn up? Sure, it's not final, but why didn't the municipality and consultants involved wait so long to start involving the public? Smells fishy to me.
You don't find that suspicious?
The Mossel Bay Advertiser reported the same issues I raised in my first video. Residents fear losing control of their land, anger over compulsory levies, unfair zoning, conserved land punished, degraded land rewarded, and contradictions about sensitivity. So if even the local press is saying the same thing, how exactly is this misinformation? At least that's how the municipality labeled my first video. And their WhatsApp release said, commitment to inclusive decision making. The meeting was also streamed live on the municipal Facebook page to ensure to maximize the reach of information shared. Let's talk about that. Their meeting, which was 3 hours long, streamed only on their Facebook page, which I have been told they have blocked half of Mossel Bay from that page. And before Mossel Bay municipality labels this video as misinformation for what I just said, of course I'm exaggerating the amount, but I have gotten messages from residents saying they were blocked, and they were blocked when asking some tough questions.
Are you f***ing serious?
So they stream this on Facebook, not on YouTube and not on X, but rather on a page where they've blocked a considerable amount of people.
Why?
That's not transparency, that's gatekeeping. And let's talk about inclusive decision making. Look at how Yaku handles tough questions.
But that sensitivity would have been there regardless of the offset project. As I said earlier, if we throw that offset project in the bin today, that property can still not be developed because it is still covered in sensitive vegetation.
I hear you, and I appreciate your love for plants and the nature and who you are. But what I want to ask you is, why take 90% of my property and the person next to me 0%? Why? Why can't you go to the municipality and buy a farm?
There's a lot of red blotches out there.
Kom ons
Yes,
gee
that are not
kans hier. So
included. I understand.
let's do the following. There's been people on this side that they've putting up their hands for a long time. They are very patient. So I'm going to allow them to ask a question. Meneer, eers baie welkom.
And there's many examples of Yaku doing this. And they could argue that they wanted to move things along, that's why they cut people off, but they wouldn't have had to been so abrupt if the answers were very clear. And look, I will link this stream to the description so you guys can see for yourself. Yes, it's 3 hours long, but again, you can have a look for yourself to see who's really telling the truth. So let's ask again, who's really spreading misinformation? The filmmaker quoting residents, consultants, and official documents word for word? Or the municipality contradicting itself and punishing landowners for protecting nature? Now, unfortunately, the opportunity to give a comment in the public participation campaign is now closed, but this issue isn't. And from what I'm hearing, similar offset frameworks are quietly appearing across the Western Cape. I'm still waiting for any official or consultant consultant to contact me directly. Until then, the record speaks for itself. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to help me uncover the truth behind land grabs in South Africa, please head on over to the Back a Buddy campaign, link in description and pinned comment. If you donate, or if 4,000 people donated 50 Rand, we would hit our goal and production can begin. If you prefer to donate via EFT, those details are also in the description and pinned comment, and you can find out more details on stolenground.co.za. Comment below and let me know what you think about all this. And no matter which platform you're watching this episode on, please drop a like, a follow, or a subscribe. You know what to do. I got more content coming your way, and share this video far and wide. Ladies and gentlemen, with all that being said, thanks for watching. Your Newsflash is in.